Very few people expected this moment to ever happen. For months, the automotive world watched Matt Armstrong and FXAlexG take on what many believed was an impossible challenge: a crashed Bugatti Veyron per sport. One of the rarest and most advanced hypercars ever built, was being rebuilt outside Bugatti's official repair network. Millions of viewers followed every step of the journey, wondering whether the project would succeed or fail. Then something unexpected happened. Bugatti CEO Mate Rimac finally spoke publicly about the rebuild, and instead of starting with criticism, he began by showing respect for the people behind the project. According to Rimac, rebuilding a modern Bugatti is one of the most difficult tasks in the automotive industry. These cars are not designed like ordinary supercars. They are built using highly specialized engineering, advanced safety systems, and components developed specifically for extreme performance. Because of that, Rimac acknowledged that anyone willing to take on such a project deserves recognition. He openly praised the determination, passion, and commitment shown by Matt Armstrong and FXAlexG. He made it clear that he understood why millions of people were fascinated by the rebuild and why so many automotive enthusiasts were supporting the project. For Matt Armstrong, this recognition was significant. Over the years, he has built a reputation for taking damaged vehicles that most people would give up on and proving that they can be restored. From luxury performance cars to exotic supercars, Matt repeatedly demonstrated that skill, patience, and creative problem-solving can achieve results many consider impossible. The Bugatti project represented the biggest challenge of his career, and even Bugatti's own CEO appeared to recognize the scale of what he was attempting. Rimac also acknowledged FXAlex's dedication to the Bugatti brand. Owning a Bugatti is already something very few people can experience, but choosing to save a heavily damaged Veyron, rather than simply walking away from it, showed a different level of commitment. Instead of abandoning the car, FXAlexG invested enormous amounts of time, effort, and resources into giving a second chance. According to many enthusiasts, that decision reflected genuine passion for the automotive world rather than simple financial logic. However, while Rimac expressed admiration for the determination behind the rebuild, he also explained that appreciation and support are not always the same thing. He respected the effort being made, but he still had serious concerns about the process itself. Those concerns would eventually become the center of one of the biggest debates the automotive world had seen in years. What followed was not a personal attack, nor a direct confrontation. Instead, it became a clash between two very different views of car ownership, safety, and the future of independent vehicle repairs. As Rimac continued his explanation, it became clear that he was not questioning the skills, dedication, or intentions of Matt Armstrong and FXAlexG. In fact, he appeared to respect all three. The real issue, according to Bugatti, was whether a vehicle capable of speeds exceeding 400 kilometers per hour could truly be repaired outside the factory system while maintaining the same level of safety, performance, and reliability. That question would soon divide automotive enthusiasts across the world and transform a simple rebuild project into a discussion that extended far beyond one damaged Veyron. After recognizing the effort being made by Matt Armstrong and FXAlexG, Mate Rimac moved on to explain why Bugatti had chosen not to support the rebuild in the same way many people expected. This was the moment that millions of viewers had been waiting for. For months, rumors had spread across social media, YouTube videos, automotive forums, and news websites. Some people claimed Bugatti simply wanted complete control over its vehicles. Others believed the company was protecting its reputation. Many assumed the manufacturer was refusing to help because it did not want independent builders proving that these cars could be repaired outside official channels. Rimac knew these rumors existed, and he wanted to address them directly. One of the first topics he discussed was the famous stories about Bugatti repair costs. For years, the internet has been filled with shocking numbers attached to Bugatti ownership. Stories about maintenance bills, service costs, and replacement parts often spread quickly because they sound unbelievable. According to Rimac, many of these stories are exaggerated or completely inaccurate. He specifically mentioned the discussion surrounding Veyron headlights, which have become one of the most talked about examples online. Many people believe a pair of Veyron headlights cost around $150,000. Rimac explained that while the headlights are certainly expensive, the real price is significantly lower than the numbers often repeated on social media. His point was not that Bugatti parts are cheap. Rather, He wanted people to understand that many internet rumors become accepted as facts without verification. Rimac then explained why even seemingly simple Bugatti components can cost enormous amounts of money. Unlike mass-produced vehicles that are built in large numbers, Bugatti produces only a very limited number of cars. Every component requires years of engineering, testing, development, and certification. When those costs are spread across only a small number of vehicles, the final price of individual parts becomes extremely high. A component that may look simple on the outside often contains advanced technology, custom materials, and thousands of hours of development work behind it. From Bugatti's perspective, these costs are not created to make repairs difficult. They are the result of producing some of the most advanced road cars in the world. However, the most important part of Rimac's explanation involved safety. He argued that the damaged Chiron per sport likely contained problems that could not be seen in videos or photographs. While many viewers focus on visible damage to body panels, suspension components, and structural parts, Bugatti's engineers were concerned about hidden damage deep within the vehicle. According to Rimac, a crash can affect areas of the car that are difficult to inspect without specialized equipment. Carbon fiber structures, mounting points, electronic systems, and safety components may appear normal while still suffering damage that affect performance and safety. This is especially important when dealing with a hypercar capable of extraordinary speeds. Rimac emphasized that Bugatti engineers spend years designing systems that work together as a complete package. Airbags, sensors, electronic controls, chassis structures, and impact protection systems are carefully calibrated to function under specific conditions. If one component is modified, repaired incorrectly, or replaced with a part that behaves differently, the entire system may respond in unexpected ways during an accident. This was one of Bugatti's biggest concerns regarding the rebuild. The company was not only thinking about whether the car could be repaired, it was thinking about whether the repaired vehicle could meet the same safety standard expected from a Bugatti. He also pointed out that Bugatti itself faces challenges when developing and testing these systems. Even with factory resources, advanced engineering teams, and millions of dollars invested in research, problems still arise during development. According to Rimac, this reality makes it difficult for Bugatti to support repairs performed outside its official network. In his view, the issue was not a lack of respect for independent builders. It was a question of responsibility. If a repaired vehicle were involved in a future accident, many people would still associate the outcome with the Bugatti name regardless of who performed the repair. As his explanation continued, it became clear that Bugatti's position was centered on risk management and safety standards rather than personal disagreements. Yet despite these explanations, many viewers remained unconvinced. Supporters of Matt Armstrong and FXAlexG believed there were still unanswered questions. They understood Bugatti's concerns about structural repairs and safety systems, but they wondered why the company appeared unwilling to provide access even to parts that seemed unrelated to those concerns. That question would soon become the center of the debate and lead to a response from FXAlexG that attracted attention throughout the automotive community. As soon as mate Rimac's comment began spreading across the automotive world, reactions appeared everywhere. YouTube creators started breaking down every statement. Automotive forums filled with debates. Social media users argued over who was right and who was wrong. Some people believed Rimac had provided a reasonable explanation for Bugatti's position. Others felt that his response raised even more questions than it answered. But while thousands of viewers were discussing the situation, everyone was waiting to see how FXAlexG would react. After all, this was his Bugatti Chiron per sport. He had purchased a damaged car, invested a huge amount of money into the project, and committed himself to proving that the vehicle could be rebuilt. If anyone was going to respond directly to Bugatti, so it would be him. What happened next immediately caught the attention of the entire community. Rather than posting a long video or publishing a detailed statement, FXAlexG responded with a short comment. At first glance, it looked simple, but the message quickly spread across social media because many viewers felt it challenged one of the key points in Rimac's argument. FXAlexG asked a straightforward question. If safety was truly the reason Bugatti refused to support the rebuild, would the company at least be willing to sell headlights? The comment was short, but it immediately started a new wave of discussion. Thousands of people liked the comment, shared screenshots of it, and debated what it meant. The reason this comment attracted so much attention was because headlights are not generally considered a major crash safety component. Unlike airbags, crash sensors, or structural parts, headlights perform a different role. Supporters of FXAlexG argued that selling headlights would not create the same risk Bugatti described when discussing hidden structural damage or airbag calibration. In their view, if safety was a primary concern, Bugatti could potentially sell non-critical components while continuing to restrict access to parts directly connected to crash protection systems. This argument became one of the most discussed topics in the entire controversy. At the same time, supporters of Bugatti pointed out that the situation might not be that simple. Modern hypercars are incredibly complex machines. Components that appear straightforward often interact with other systems in ways that are not immediately obvious. Advanced lighting systems can contain sensors, control modules, and software integrations connected to various vehicle functions. While many viewers focus on the physical part itself, Bugatti supporters argue that the company might be considering broader issues involving responsibility, liability, and vehicle certification. The debate quickly expanded beyond a single pair of headlights and became a larger discussion about manufacturer obligations and owner rights. Then FXAlexG posted another comment that generated even more attention than the first. This time, he referenced Bugatti's newest hypercar project and jokingly asked whether he could receive an allocation for one. The comment immediately became popular because it appeared to challenge Bugatti's relationship with customers who choose to repair vehicles independently. Many viewers interpreted the message as a playful but direct criticism of what they saw as corporate gatekeeping. The comment spread rapidly across automotive news channels and social media pages, where people began discussing whether luxury manufacturers should have the power to influence who gains access to future vehicles. For many enthusiasts, the issue was no longer only about a damaged Chiron. It had become a conversation about ownership itself. When someone purchases a multi-million-dollar hypercar, what rights should they have? Should they be free to repair, modify, or rebuild the vehicle however they choose? Or should manufacturers maintain some level of control over repairs involving highly specialized machines capable of extreme performance? These questions had existed for years, but the Chiron rebuild brought them into the spotlight in a way few previous projects had managed to do. Meanwhile, Matt Armstrong continued working on the car. While debates filled the internet, the actual rebuild process moved forward. New problems were discovered, damaged parts were inspected, and potential solutions were explored. Unlike the discussions happening online, the workshop faced real-world challenges every day. Components needed to be repaired or replaced. Measurements had to be verified. Structural pieces required careful attention. Every step revealed just how difficult rebuilding a Bugatti truly was. Yet despite the obstacles, progress continued, and that persistence only increased public interest in the project. The more attention the rebuild received, the more symbolic it became. Supporters viewed it as a test of independent skill and determination. Critics viewed it as a risky experiment involving one of the most advanced vehicles ever built. Neither side appeared willing to change its position. And as Matt Armstrong moved deeper into the rebuild process, the project was about to reveal just how challenging restoring a damaged Bugatti could really be. The next stage would focus not on online arguments, but on the physical reality of repairing a hypercar that many experts believe should never have been rebuilt outside the factory in the first place. While the internet continued debating Mate Rimack's comments and FXAlex's responses, Matt Armstrong remained focused on a task that mattered most: rebuilding the Bugatti Chiron per sport itself. Away from social media arguments and comment section battles, the reality inside the workshop was far more complicated than most viewers realized. Every day brought new discoveries, unexpected setbacks, and technical challenges that would have been difficult for even experienced supercar specialists. This was the point where the project started proving why Bugatti had expressed concerns in the first place. Even simple inspections often revealed problems that nobody had initially expected. One of the biggest challenges involved understanding the true extent of the crash damage. When people look at a damaged car online, they usually focus on visible issues. They notice broken body panels, damaged wheels, cracked lights, or missing parts. But experienced technicians know that the most serious damage is often hidden beneath the surface. Modern hypercars are designed with complex structures that absorb energy during impacts. A crash can transfer forces throughout the vehicle in ways that are not immediately visible. Components that appear perfectly normal from the outside may actually be bent, weakened, or damaged internally. Matt and his team continued taking the Chiron apart. They discovered that many areas required much more attention than originally expected. The front section of the car presented one of the most difficult obstacles. The Chiron structure is unlike that of ordinary vehicles. Everything is designed around performance, strength, and weight reduction. Engineers spend years optimizing each component to meet strict requirements. Recreating or repairing those parts is not as simple as ordering replacements from a catalog. Every measurement matters. Every mounting point matters. Every structural connection matters. The famous horseshoe-shaped front design that makes a Bugatti instantly recognizable also introduced unique engineering challenges. To most people, it looks like a styling feature. But behind that iconic appearance lies a carefully engineered structure that plays an important role in the vehicle's design. Repairing damaged sections required careful planning, precise fabrication, and a deep understanding of how the surrounding components work together. This was not the type of repair that could be rushed. One mistake could create problems later in the build process. Another major issue involves sourcing parts. In many rebuild projects, damaged components can simply be replaced with factory parts. The Chiron project was different. Because access to official Bugatti parts was extremely limited, Matt often had to search for alternative solutions. Some components could potentially be repaired. Others required custom fabrication. In certain cases, parts had to be sourced through private channels, specialist suppliers, or contacts within the automotive community. Every successful part acquisition felt like a victory because each one moved the project one step closer to completion. The automotive community began playing an important role during the stage of the rebuild. People from around the world started offering advice, sharing technical information, and connecting Matt with individuals who possessed specialized knowledge. Former technicians, engineers, fabricators, and enthusiasts all contributed ideas. Some provided guidance on manufacturing processes. Others helped locate difficult-to-find components. The rebuild gradually became larger than a single workshop project. It evolved into a community effort involving people who were fascinated by the challenge and wanted to see whether it could actually succeed at the same time. Viewers started realizing that rebuilding a Bugatti involved much more than replacing damaged parts. Modern hypercars rely heavily on electronics, software systems, sensors, and advanced control units. A single fault can affect multiple systems throughout the vehicle. During the rebuild, various warning messages and diagnostic issues appeared, creating additional complications. Solving these problems required patience, research, and sometimes a significant amount of trial and error. Unlike ordinary cars, where replacement modules can often be installed relatively easily, hypercar electronics are frequently integrated into highly specialized networks. Point one area that generated particular concern involved the transmission and drivetrain systems. Early inspection suggested that some issues might extend beyond cosmetic or structural damage. If major internal components require repair or replacement, the project could become significantly more expensive and complicated. Hypercar transmissions are engineering masterpieces designed to handle enormous amounts of power while maintaining reliability and performance. Rebuilding or replacing such components without direct factory support would represent one of the toughest challenges of the entire project. Yet despite every obstacle, progress continued. That persistence began changing public perception of the rebuild. What originally seemed impossible was gradually becoming achievable. Each repaired section, each source component, and each solved technical problem increased confidence among supporters. However, many experts still remain cautious. They argued that the most difficult challenges often appear near the end of complex projects. Bringing the car back together was one thing. Proving that it could operate safely and correctly at the level expected from Bugatti was something entirely different. As the rebuild moved forward, the pressure increased, and the stakes became higher than ever before. As the rebuild continued moving forward, something unexpected began happening. The project was no longer being viewed as just another ambitious YouTube series. Instead, it started becoming a symbol of a much larger debate within the automotive industry. Every update from Matt Armstrong generated millions of views, and with each new episode, more people became invested in the outcome. Some viewers were interested because they loved seeing difficult rebuilds. Others followed because they were fascinated by Bugatti itself. But a growing number of people were watching because they believed the project represented a challenge to the traditional relationship between manufacturers and vehicle owners. For decades, car companies have controlled access to parts, software, repair procedures, and technical information. In most situations, this arrangement has not created major controversy because ordinary vehicles can usually be serviced through dealerships or independent repair shops without too many obstacles. Hypercars, however, exist in a completely different world. They are produced in extremely small numbers, contain highly specialized technology, and often require factory-trained technicians for major repairs. Because of this, manufacturers typically maintain much tighter control over how these vehicles are serviced and repaired. The Chiron rebuild brought this issue directly into public view. Many viewers began asking a simple question. If someone spends millions of dollars purchasing a vehicle, should they have complete freedom to repair it however they choose? To supporters of Matt Armstrong and FXAlexG, the answer was obvious. Once a customer purchases a car, they believe ownership rights should include the ability to repair, modify, restore, or rebuild that vehicle without requiring manufacturer approval. They argue that restricting access to parts effectively limits what owners can do with property they legally purchase. This argument gained even more support because of Matt Armstrong's track record. Over the years, he had successfully rebuilt numerous vehicles that many people initially considered impossible to save. Time after time, he demonstrated that skilled independent technicians could perform repairs at rival professional facilities. Supporters pointed to these successes as evidence that expertise is not limited to factory workshops. They believe the Chiron rebuild could become another example proving that talented builders are capable of solving complex problems without direct manufacturer involvement. On the other side of the debate stood those who agreed with Bugatti's concerns. They pointed out that a Chiron is not an ordinary sports car. It is one of the fastest and most advanced production vehicles ever created. Every component is designed to operate within extremely demanding conditions. The vehicle's safety systems, aerodynamics, suspension, electronics, and structural elements all work together as part of a carefully engineered package. According to this perspective, allowing unrestricted repairs could create risks not only for owners, but also for future buyers and other road users. Supporters of Bugatti also emphasize another important point. When a vehicle carries a Bugatti name, the public naturally associates its performance and safety with the company itself. If a heavily modified or independently repaired Chiron were involved in a serious incident, many people would still connect that event to